Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risk their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds for Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video, man, is about Esau's kingdom descending into chaos, and it very much so is, as we are approaching its end. And many things are going to be happening, man. We are in fact heading into the time of Jacob's trouble, and today has been a really hot day. So to begin, I'm going to read this here in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay, so you redeem the time, man, because the days are evil. The days are evil, and they're just going to keep getting worse and worse. As the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, they're doing their thing. They want to establish their NWO, and they're going to do it by way of chaos. Order out of chaos. Order ab chaos. Never let a good crisis go to waste. All right, they intentionally create these situations, and then they provide solutions to it, quote unquote solutions. So to start, chaos in Nepal. Government bans social media over misinformation. Furious protesters torch parliament. Nepal is in complete meltdown after the government's insane decision to ban the internet's largest platforms under the excuse of fighting misinformation. Let's take a listen to Dabu.
This is Dabu 7, and we have all-out chaos breaking loose in Nepal as the government tried to put a ban on social media, and the people have revolted en masse. Most of the media outlets trying to say that this is largely Generation Z that is taken to the streets. It looks like men of all ages in these clips, and it looks like an all-out revolution. With guns and everything else, they're going up in here, taking over everything. At this point, they report that fires have been set to the parliament, to the Supreme Court, to the president's office, to government buildings, hotels, politicians' houses. And as I said before, they're dragging them out of their homes and into the streets as this is turning chaotic. This is one of the biggest palace embassies in all of Asia that they broke into, lit on fire. They did the same thing to several places. This is how the ex-PM's wife apparently was burned alive in all this. Although I will say in the footage, which I'm not going to show because it's graphic, she seems to still be moving on the ground when they pull her out, but she succumbed to her injuries and she died nonetheless. And it seems to be going down in a chaotic fashion in Nepal. The government getting lit up by the people at this point, in the military taking the social media, trying to call for calm, but a social media that has been blocked. So the people rising in the streets all across the place here, and this is something to keep an eye on. I'll update as I get more information. Follow me on.
We are in the time of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Let's see. The scriptures let you know, man, we are in fact in that time. And actually, let me read this verse. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? The end of the kingdom of the Edomites, it's manifesting. So There are two signs that the scripture points out: earthquakes and uproars of the people. The earthquakes, a very common occurrence, so common that people hear about it and go about their day. But earthquakes are very serious. The next one, uproars of the people around the world, which is protest. That is a common occurrence at this point in time as well. And this situation is in fact an uproar of the people. And they've really taken it to the next level. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So we are approaching this due to the situations that are going on right now. America as well is descending into chaos. Today, some stuff happened over there in America. You have this dude, Charlie Kirk, who was shot today, and he is no longer here. You know, he has gone back to the spirit realm. And I had no idea about this Charlie Kirk person, but I watched the video that a brother posted regarding that individual, and I judge him to be an Edomite. So that situation, it is what it is. To be honest, I do see it as perhaps the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, did that, because the reaction that I'm seeing from the so-called white people due to this situation is that they are very, very, very upset and hurt, and they are talking about acting violent, so this could be one of the things to, or rather it is going to be one of those things to contribute to their activation of, going buck wild out there, because they will eventually, but for Charlie Kirk, he's an Edomite. That's how I judge his spirit. And he really had a very great hatred for the children of Israel, man, from the video that I saw. So guess what, Charlie Kirk? When you are reborn in the kingdom of heaven, you're going straight into slavery with the rest of your people. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the wisdom and patience of the saints. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. So that kind of situation, apparently the shooter is still at large, or however it is that they say it. They haven't been able to catch him or her, whatever it is. But besides that, I'm definitely seeing a certain spirit being riled up on these Edomites, man, from, the social media. Okay. For there shall be, 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. There's so much that is going on right now that I'm trying to stick to one thing, and I maybe got a little sidetracked, but it's all a part of the situation at hand, where the world is going into a state of chaos. All right. Now, this sedition among men is what is happening over there in Nepal. Furious protesters torch parliament. All right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So the people are going to be in an uproar against their rulers. And as you heard, man, they apparently set the wife on fire, according to some video, and they very clearly set the place ablaze due to the social media ban, which then is another thing to speak on, because This social media ban on September 4th, 2025, Nepal's ruling elites declared war on free speech, abruptly banning 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, X, which is Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Reddit, citing failure to register under new regulations, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. All right, so look at how easy it is for them to ban the social media. And we all know the power of the social media, where it's a very common thing for people to use it in the world at this point in time, and people be recording things, taking pictures of things, and sharing it on social media and showing the truth of situations that have been happening. Okay, but they're saying government bans social media over misinformation, right? But we know what is coming, man. Based off of Bible prophecy, it is going to be the famine of the word, which means eventually you people won't be able to hear this word anymore, man. All right. Amos chapter 8 and verse 11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. So imagine a social media ban happening in America, right? The truth wouldn't be able to go out anymore. And if it happens in America, it is very likely to happen in Jamaica as well, and in other places as well. All right, but it's overall showing you how easy it is that they can just take away, this word. And it will be Yahweh Shemishah that will be taking away this word from you wicked, unbelieving Israelites. All right, this isn't regarding those of us that believe, because we have already received the word and we have taken it seriously. We have repented, we're hoping for salvation of the hopeful elect, etc. This is for those who scoff and scorn, and when it is that certain things are going to be happening, well, the prophecies coming to pass, people are going to see that we have been speaking the truth. And then as the scriptures say in Ezekiel 33 verse 33, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them, that has been warning them, telling them to repent, to our pari Yahweh Shemishan, hope for protection from the evil days that are upon us, because the evil days are here. All right, all kinds of things are happening, man. Okay, look at what else has happened. There's a whole situation with this Ukrainian woman that was, done away with by this individual here, which that as well, Esau, when you see the news, you don't know what is really happening from what isn't happening, because of all of the deception at hand from this devil, who's so-called white man, these Edomites, man. So you don't know what is set up from what is just like people bugging out or whatever it is, but this could also be another setup, like Esau is the accuser of, the accuser of thy brethren. He always accuses us, man. He always accuses the Israelites and bears false witness against us and does all these kinds of things, man. All right, so I'm actually waiting to even see who or what it is, what this person looks like, man, that apparently did away with Charlie Kirk. But many things are happening, man. Many things are happening. And then as well, there was a school shooting today, right? In where? Denver area high school, right? 13-year-old boy with school shooter ideations found with collection of, okay. All right, so there was a school shooting today, and then as well, there was another shooting as well today in San Francisco, India Basin, injured 6 people. This world is going, and then as well, There are protests in France because France is apparently collapsing, and America is going to collapse eventually. America is collapsing right now, whether people want to believe it or not. These are the times that we're in, man. French police clash with block everything protesters while Macron installs new prime minister. Block everything protests turn new French prime minister's first day into chaos. Chaos. That's a part of the headlines, right? That's what they're saying. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Order out of chaos. Things are going to be getting real bad real soon. And then look at this as well. French hospitals told to prepare for war in Europe by next year in leaked government letters. So World War III is also on the table. It is a part of Bible prophecy. There are so many things that are going on, man, and this is just a fraction of the news. A very small fraction, but these are like the hot topics that I have encountered today. Boy, oh boy. It's great though, because it means that Esau's kingdom is coming to an end. But this social media ban just goes to show you how easy it is for them to just stop this word on the internet. They can just do it like that. If Nepal can do it, all these other countries can do it just like that. Okay? Let me go back to 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So martial law is coming, and they've been moving the National Guard and the military into these various different places around America, the various different states, from DC to Chicago and all the others. I can't remember off of the top of my head, because something is coming, man. And it is Jacob's trouble, which means that you Israelites out there that thought this was a joke, thought the truth is a joke, and what we've been telling you about our power, man, y'all about to start feeling it. For because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. For great tribulation, and that great tribulation is on its way. And it's going to come with famine and pestilence and the sword. 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So imagine when the famine starts to kick in. It was already reported recently that 86%, if I'm remembering the number correctly, of Americans are suffering from food insecurity. People are starting to feel life descend in an unfavorable way. They're feeling the crunch, they're feeling the pressure. And these Edomites, man, many of them have never felt this before because this is their kingdom. But now, the kingdom is transitioning from one people to another, right? Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So their kingdom is falling and the curses are starting to fall upon them. And they're starting to bug out. These Edomites can't handle it. They really can't. But they're going to have to manage to do so in the kingdom when they are slaves to the Israelites. Not just the Edomites, but all the heathen. Okay? Boy, oh boy, things are really getting to that point, man. So much has gone on today. September 10th, 2025. Wow. There's another situation that's happening in Venezuela.
Can I resurrect by watching ads? Commercial ads?
This is Ebony, and Ebony has no...
We have the military continuing its mount up around Venezuela in the Caribbean. And as you can see here, we have U.S. Marines and Navy sailors carrying out amphibious landing exercises in Puerto Rico. So they are making moves here, planning on doing something in terms of Venezuela. In response to all this, Maduro has sent some 25,000 soldiers, troops, down to the coast areas. Some outlets reporting that they're doing this saying that they're going to combat drug traffickers. But in other articles, Maduro is saying that's not the case, that they've already defeated the drug traffickers, and that this is not about drugs, that this is about oil and gas, and that the West wants it. And that also Venezuela is sitting on a hoard of gold, and they want it all. This is what he says is going on, and that if any strikes go down, all this narco stuff is just a front for them to get to what they want ultimately, which is to overthrow his regime and to get access to all these minerals inside the country. And then probably to install someone that favors them after that, some kind of puppet like they've been looking for a long time, to be able to push their agenda to the people inside of Venezuela and it work in their favor. Regardless, the military ramping up big. Hexeth just stopping in on one of the warships and telling the troops.
Yeah, all of this news just speaks to the chaos that is descending on this earth, man. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Salakia. So, this is what is coming, man. Chaos, great tribulation, Jacob's trouble. And the only way to escape out of this is by way of Yahweh Shemeshai. You must first be an Israelite. Okay? And then you must be of the elect of the nation of Israel to be able to escape this. And those who are of the elect, the Spirit will show. And those who are of the non-elect, the Spirit will show as well. As the scriptures say, then shall it be known who are my chosen, as they shall be tried as gold in the fire, as the scriptures say. Actually, it says just down here, because this time is coming too. 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. Alright, and what is coming? That market chip, which is the mark of the beast. And they haven't even started that full campaign as yet. You know? For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, a violent uprising. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So this is the kind of faith that the elect will have, man. To believe in Yahweh Shemeshai, that no matter the situation, that you will be preserved. And we do know some will go by way of beheading, some will be thrown into prison. But not everyone will perish, because there is a remnant to be saved. But this world, man, is on its way to chaos, country to country, city to city, town to town, street to street. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth parts of the earth, which is talking about America, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So Esau will be bringing this chaos intentionally. Order out of chaos. Order ab kill. And all of it is going to be for their microchip becoming mandatory worldwide. This is what is at hand, man. And the warning has gone out from Yahweh Shemishai for decades. And this kingdom is ripe for judgment. So it is that time. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai by Shemaka Kodesh. Shalom.